Hey guys, my name is Ethan, this is Carberra, and welcome to series where I teach you how to build a Discord.py music bot for your server. Today we're continuing on with the requests. Specifically we're working with equalizers this time, so we're going to be creating an equalizer that uses a preset, and we're also going to be using an equalizer that deals with bands. So we're going to have a 15 band equalizer in our case. Me and my friend Jackster helped kind of work out how the library handles all this. So we're going to be building a proper equalizer that you can use in your Discord server, and it's a lot of fun to use, trust me. Of course, if you find the video helpful at any point, then consider liking to let me know, and subscribing so you don't miss out on future videos in the series. But yeah, with that out of the way, let's get into it. This video is kind of going to be in two bits, really. So we're going to start with a simple EQ command that utilizes Wavelength's presets, and then we're going to create a full-on 15 band equalizer that allows you to set everything manually. So you can use whichever one you want in your bot. You can use both. You can change the commands or the command names if you want. This one's kind of up to you how you want to implement the information in this video. But we're going to start with the simple one first. So we're going to go up to the top of our file, and we're going to put in another error, and it's going to be class invalid EQ preset. So this basically says, if we're passing in a preset that doesn't exist, then we need to, raise that error and tell the user that. We don't need to do any constants right now. There are more errors, but those are for the advanced EQ. We're just focusing on the simple one for now, because I think it'd be easier just to split clean in two rather than kind of try and mix them all up. So we're going to come down here, and at the bottom we're going to do at commands.command. Name equals EQ, and we're not going to put them in a group for this one because it's just a little bit easier, I think. I don't know. Again, you can decide how you want to implement this in terms of how the commands work and everything. So we're going to do async def EQ commands self. We're going to need the context, and we're going to need a preset, which is going to be a string. And after that, we need to get self the player, get CTX, yada yada yada, and then we need to set EQ. I'm not going to bother using the walrus operator for this because this is quite a complicated line to begin with. But we're going to use the getAttra method, which gets an attribute from an object. We're going to do wavelength equalizer, there we go, preset none. So what this line is basically doing is it's saying to get an attribute called preset from this. So if we were to pass in a preset called piano, for example, it would essentially be wavelength.eqs.equalizer.piano, and this is basically the same thing. However, if the attribute does not exist, this would throw an attribute error, but since we're passing a none here, it just says the EQ should be none, and then we can go with that. And that is where our error comes in, because if not EQ, then we want to raise invalid. Was it invalid? Yeah, it is invalid. Invalid EQ preset. So doing it this way also allows us to use other presets as they're added. So if Wavelength ever decided to add a new preset for whatever reason, then that would automatically be, usable in our code. We're not like having a hard list of presets that we can use. So it essentially just replaces something like, if presets are not in, and then like a list of things here. Whoopsie daisies. So that's cool. And then after, if we do have a real preset, then we could do await player.set EQ, and then because that is an object, we actually need to initialize it. So EQ is an object. So to actually pass it into the EQ, we need to pass the initialized object into it, and then we can just await CTX dot send. Not do what I just did. What did I just do? I have no idea what button combination I just hit there, but there we go. And we need a format string, and then equalizer. Or as we're British, equalizer, adjusted to the preset. And then we just need to do our erroring, async def EQ command. Okay, thank you. I do appreciate that, tab 9. If is instance exec invalid EQ preset, then await CTX dot send the EQ preset must be either flat, and we're just going to provide like a list of ones here. Again, you don't have to, but I'm just kind of using this to show you which ones are valid. So you have the flat, you have the boost, you have the metal, and you have the piano. And then that's pretty much it for that, or at least our simple EQ. So we're going to go in here, we're going to run the bots. Nope, we're going to run our Lava Link server, which we haven't done because I keep forgetting to do that. Very important that this step be completed. I keep forgetting it. You should be better than me. But yeah, if we run it again, then we will have, let's get it to Discord, go into our tutorial server, go into the videos channel, and then we, go into our chats. I'm going to make sure I don't accidentally deafen myself. And then, okay, it's muted. Okay, I was getting confused. What? Shut up, Discord. Shut up. Shut it. Shut it. We're going to play, well, what we're going to do is we're going to play a song called Scarlet Fire. Now, those of you that have watched Dank Pods will recognise this. But the reason I want to play Scarlet Fire is because the bass is insane on it, and I want to blow your ears out with the equaliser later. So, are we getting any volume at all? Is Discord set up correctly? Is Discord being a nightmare? Amazing. What a great... Seriously? Okay, there we go. I have no idea what happened there. But it just... Discord just wasn't having any of it. So we'll see, I suppose. Is it Scarlet Fire or is it Scarlet Fire? Oh, Scarlet Fire, there we go. So now it should work again. There we go, there we go. I just want to make sure OBS is picking up that. Yes, it is. Okay, cool. So now if I set the EQ to say flat, we'll wait until it gets into it because it might be... Does that sound any different? I can't tell. I think it was that anyway, actually. It's a piano. It just... Oh, there we go. Okay, you can hear that now. It took a while to kick in, but you can hear that. It's made it sound terrible in this instance. There is also EQ metal. It apparently takes a while to kick in. So you've got to give it a few seconds. There we go. Got to give it about 5 or 6 seconds. That's also made it sound just awful. And I think the other one is bass, right? Oh, it's boost. Oh no. This is going to be a big meme. When it kicks in. Oh, never mind, it's just muted it. It's just muted a load of the frequencies. But yeah, those are all the presets, so you can see the actual presets work. Oh, it's boosting it a bit. That's foreshadow for what's coming up. We had a lot of fun in the streams messing around with the bass on that song. But we're going to be doing that now with the advanced equalizer. So we're going to need to go back up to the top again. And you're going to need a new constant, which is the Hertz bands. Now we're using I believe this is a 15, is this a 15 Hertz? Yeah, it's a 15 Hertz equalizer. This is just the one that Wavelength uses. It has a 15 Hertz setup. And our setup is 20, 40, 63, 100, 150, 250, 400, 450, 630, 1,000, 1,600, 2,500, 4,000, 10,000, 16,000. That was our best guess as to the frequencies of the equalizer. We don't know for sure what they are, but we're essentially having these so people that know these bands can use it to actually change the specific frequencies they want to change. Otherwise, you could just use the index of it. That would be fine as well. But I'll show you more what I'm talking about when we actually code the rest of it. And then we're going to go down here and we need another 2 errors. We need non-existent EQ band and EQ gain out of bounds. So these two, if you try and specify a Hertz value that doesn't exist in this list, you'll get a non-existent EQ band error. Or if you do EQ gain out of bounds, it means that you would set the the actual gain out of the bounds that you can set it to. We're going to be hard limiting what you can set it to. I don't really know what the limits are, but as far as I could tell, they are extreme, much like the volume. So please be careful with your ears with this. There are generally no safety locks on this library as far as I can tell. So we're going to call this, command name, advanced EQ or advery EQ. You can call it what you want. We're going to, for S's and giggles, we're going to, give it an alias as well. Ike. And we're going to define our advanced EQ commands. With self-CTX, we're going to do band is an int, and the gain, which is a float. So the band is the actual band number or the frequency of the band that we're looking for, and the gain is the actual, value that we want to pass to the actual band itself. So it's the value that we want to set it to. So as far as we can tell, wavelength goes between -10 and positive 10 decibels, and that is mapped between -1 and +1. What we are going to do is we're actually going to convert it to our decibel value, so we're going to be passing between 10 and -10. We're going to be seeing how that goes, or at least I think you can pass in values that are above 1 and below -1, but we think that the number of decibels has been divided by 10 for wavelength. The docs do not make this clear at all. So if that's slightly wrong, then I'm sorry. But this is the best that me and someone that knows a lot about this stuff could work out. Thanks to Jackster for one, the frequency bands, and two, the information about actually working out what he thought the actual values meant in the library. So if not 1 less than or equals 2, and I've got ligatures on, give me 1 second. There you go, they're turned off now. I think I had them on for the other 2 videos before this. Sorry about that. I know I like code over ligatures, but I know, in tutorials it's not going to be amazing. So if not the band between the values, and it's not in hertz bands. So basically, if it's not a valid band index and it's not an actual frequency band, then we can raise non-existent EQ band. Otherwise, we do if band is greater than 15. So if we're actually passing at a frequency, because the lowest frequency in this case is 20, so we can get away with doing this. God, we're a long way down now. We want to do band equals hertz bands dot index band, and then we want to do +1, just so we can unify our inputs. What is going on here? Expected a colon. There is a colon. What in the name? That's correct, isn't it? Oh, I forgot the word band. Right. Okay, I forgot the word band in that. I was getting really confused, but I just forgot one word. Sorry about that. So yeah, we've now unified our band into a system we can use, and we want to say if the absolute value of our gain is greater than 10. So this will check if it's more than 10 or less than -10. And we want to raise EQ gain out of bounds in that instance. And then once we've done that, we want to set player.EQ levels band -1 equals gain divided by 10. And the reason we're doing the indexes like this is because you don't say band 0 in musical terminology. You say band 1, band 2, band 3. And again, we're putting them down, because if you were just to pass the straight values in, you'd probably be passing more like 100 decibels of gain. And you really don't want to do that. So make sure you have this division, otherwise you're going to get hurt. So now, this is where things get a bit weird. So we now say our EQ to be wavelength.eqs.equaliser. And now we're creating a custom equalizer. So in here we had presets that were like class methods that were creating new classes. In this one, we're actually creating a straight up equalizer based class. And we're setting the levels to equal I gain for I gain in enumerate whoops, enumerate player.eq levels. So what we're doing here is we are setting the player.eq levels so we have them for future reference, and we are also passing them the actual levels as, you know, the band number and the gain value for the band number and the gain value in the current EQ levels. And we do await player.set EQ EQ, and because this is already initialized, because we passed it in using the constructor, we don't need to pass the brackets down here. And then we do just going to do await ctx.send equaliser, or because we're British, equaliser adjusted. And that is your advanced EQ command. And then we need to do the errors as well. So advanced EQ command.error. You can see why I did this in two kind of distinct halves now, can't you? Hey! Tab 9 actually got it right. So if is instance exec, I'm just going to copy paste this. I don't know. You can pause the video if you want. If you want to type this out a bit more. We're saying that if it's a non-existent EQ band, we're saying that this is a 15-band equalizer. The band number should be between 1 and 15, or one of the following frequencies. And then we're, giving it error to say, all the different bands we can have. And an elif is instance EQ gain out of bounds. Then we need to we need to send a message saying that the EQ band should be, or the gain should be between 10 decibels and negative 10 decibels. So this kind of gives, these errors give a bit more context as to what everything actually does. As far as I could tell, there is no way of customizing this, as far as I could tell, without some like complex mathematics between the two. So you could set it as an 8-band equalizer, for example, and you can, kind of adjust the rest of the bands kind of as they go, automatically. But we're just working with a 15-band equalizer here. So with that all done, and hopefully all okay, I wouldn't be surprised if there was an error in there somewhere, because that is a very complicated thing. We're going to go back into videos here. And we're going to play Scarlet Fire again. Because this is just a really good song to demonstrate the sort of the bass that you can add, because it's already very bassy. So we could do AQ, and then we could set band 1, and then we could set that, say, to 5. And that didn't do anything. Why did that not do anything? Okay, I think it has errored, Let me just quickly work out what's gone wrong there. Why are you still here? Oh, whatever. Play Scarlet Fire. Gotta wait for the buttons to appear. Player has no attribute EQ levels. Oh, okay. Okay, so my excuse for this one is that it's been a long time since I did the streams, a long time since I actually planned a series, and I actually forgot to do something. The player does not have the EQ levels by default. We actually need to go up into the player constructor, wherever that is. Probably find it from here, actually. Player, there we go. And then we need to set the EQ levels to equal 0, and then we're going to put the point in there to make it float. You don't have to do that, but I think it works just slightly better if you do it like that. I'm not sure. And then we're going to say we want 15 of those. So if I quickly launch Python, you'll see that what I do creates a 15 element array of floats at 0.0. So we're basically just creating a flat equalizer off the bat. And now we can launch the bot again, and now it should work. You should play Scarlet Fire. I'm determined to play Scarlet Fire because this is absolutely hilarious. Now it should work. So AQ15. There we go. Okay, it will take a while for the adjustments to be made obvious. So I'm just upping the lower bands here. And there you go. You can hear that we have destroyed the bass now. We can destroy it even more if we want. We can set it to 10. And then we can just be a nightmare and set that to -10. And, well, you can kind of hear that the base, oh my god, you can hear that the base is going absolutely nuts. If we set the 16,000 hertz up to 10, you probably won't actually hear a difference. But you can see that it is something that it accepts. Oh no, you can actually hear that. You can actually hear that change, okay. But you can hear that's something that accepts. I'm going to stop that from playing before it actually kills someone. But you can have a lot of fun with this EQ. I would recommend heavily playing around with it, especially getting some really bassy tracks and just destroying the bass on them with the EQ. Just whacking up all the lower bands to 10 is absolutely hilarious. I would highly recommend doing that. But yeah, that's all the stuff on the EQ that I wanted to talk about. There is a lot in this video, so if you do have any questions, don't be scared to leave a comment below, or you can join the Discord server using the link in the description and ask our helper team there. But yeah, with that, I'd like to say a huge thank you to the patrons on screen now. £1 a month and you can be on this screen too. And I will see you next time where we talk about how to get more detailed information about the track that's currently playing, so a now playing command. That's different from the queue command. And we're also going to be learning how to skip to a specific track in the queue. So we have something that can skip to the next and skip to the previous, but not skip to a specific index. So we're going to be programming that in a video too. So I'll see you for that.